The Weather Xtreme video, the morning edition. This is for Thursday, March 24th. I'm James Spann. An active weather day today with a chance of severe storms. This afternoon, we'll obviously take a look at that. And what about the chance of rain for Easter Sunday? Let's dive in and discuss. That's the water vapor satellite view as the day begins. Upper trough coming through the Great Plains. That produced a blizzard at Denver yesterday, and you can see active convection in advance of that. That's the line of storms early this morning at 5:11, a little east of Little Rock. Moving along at a pretty good clip. I get the idea this band of storms will probably start to weaken and fall apart. A new batch of storms will form this afternoon, but of course we'll watch radar trends carefully. Pretty mild as the day begins, mostly 50s and 60s. Birmingham at 61. We'll expect a high around 70 today. Much colder air behind the storm system back in the snow zone, where they are well below freezing. And we cool down a little bit tomorrow, but not by much. That's the watch warning map as the day begins. Winter storm warnings in effect for parts of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, also in parts of New England. But this obviously is our concern. This is the convective outlook, chance of severe storms later today and tonight. The marginal risk runs all the way from the Gulf Coast to the eastern Great Lakes. The standard slight risk runs from Louisiana and Mississippi up into Middle Tennessee. In our state, the standard slight risk is basically north of a line from the northern part of Mobile County to about Greenville and Roanoke, and then a marginal risk below that. These are the tornado probabilities today. The 5% circle is over Central and West Alabama. That means that's the chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point. And of course, we will discuss this in great detail in just a moment. Tomorrow, a marginal risk from Florida on up the Atlantic seaboard, up to about Virginia Beach. Here's the rain for the next 5 days, valid through Tuesday morning. Heavier amounts near the Gulf Coast, and this counts the rain that we get today and the rain we get on Easter Sunday. So let's go. Here we go. The GFS. This is the 06Z run at 1 o'clock local time this afternoon. There's your trough. Very good dynamic forcing. Surface low is filling. It's 997 millibars. It's southwest of Detroit with a trailing band of showers and storms. This is the high-res HRRR today at 1 o'clock. And you can see that lead batch of storms coming in here. And again, I think those will be weakening and others will begin to form. And still some questions here. You know, could clouds limit the instability? Could rain move in maybe late this morning and just kind of help to, again, keep the air a bit more stable? We'll just have to see how this whole thing evolves. This is the projected instability off the HRRR at 4 o'clock today. And the numbers do exceed 1,000 joules per kilogram, and you got a few spots with instability values over 2,000 joules. And so needless to say, we'll be watching to see if the sun can break through at times this morning to help heat up the air and make those numbers ramp up a little bit. But that's certainly sufficient for severe weather. The low-level jet values are higher over the Tennessee Valley, exceeding 55 knots. This is the bulk shear in the lowest 1 kilometer of the atmosphere. And again, those values are higher over the Tennessee Valley. And we'll just have to see if a sweet spot develops where you're kind of on the northern edge of the instability axis and the southern edge of those stronger wind fields. And this is the STP, the significant tornado parameter. And they do hit 2 units in a few spots, but most of the values between 1 and 2 across the state. So again, we'll say all modes of severe weather possible. And the timing has been bumped up a little bit based on the radar trends. This is where you can just kind of look out the window and, forget the model output. So the western part of the state will say the window noon to 4. For parts of central and northeast Alabama, 2 until 6. And then for east Alabama, 4 until 8. This whole thing should be over by 7 or 8 o'clock, so it's not going to be a late night type thing. But, of course, it does seem to occur during the peak of the daytime heating process. So, again, if you watch these videos, you know what to do, but just be sure your friends know. Could be a severe weather day. Be sure they can get warnings. Weather radio, good smartphone app. You know the deal. Tomorrow we are dry, a little cooler, but again, not as cool as we first thought earlier in the week. We thought there might be a chance we could see some 30s, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We start the day in the 40s. The high should be in the mid-60s. Sky should be mostly sunny, maybe some lingering clouds in the morning. And Saturday, a beautiful day to start the weekend. Warmer, mid-70s are likely with a pretty decent amount of sunshine. That is the nicest day of the weekend. And then Easter Sunday, a little wave comes in with a chance of rain. And again, the GFS wants to keep the better rain coverage Sunday over the southern half of the state, suggesting maybe not that much for North Alabama, but this is the North American mesoscale model, and it's exactly the opposite. It's got the better rains over the northern counties of the state. So we're going to mention periods of rain Sunday, maybe some thunder, severe weather not expected. And the high should be in the low 70s. Not going to rain all day, but it should rain at times. A decent chance the rain begins after Easter sunrise services, but we can't guarantee that. And then Monday, that system is on the way out. The day will be cooler, the high dropping back in the mid-60s. This is Tuesday. A beautiful day, sunny with upper 60s. Wednesday, moisture begins to return, and we might need to insert a chance of showers perhaps by Wednesday afternoon. But this is a week from today, Thursday, the 31st. Another deep upper trough, strong surface low well to the north of us, and that would suggest another good round of showers and storms, and that might bring a chance of strong to severe storms. Just too early to know at this point. This is a week away. Just be aware of that. This is the end of the forecast period, Saturday, April 2nd. Wow. Look at that vortex over Canada. That's cold looking. And again, we'll just have to see if that can send some cold air down the pike. It could very well, and I've said this on here before. I fully expect at least one cold snap, maybe two. It is way too early to plant anything that would be harmed by a freeze. Temperatures below average for much of the central and southern U.S., March 31st through April 6th. Now, the numbers don't reflect any big cold snap with 30s in here, but don't be shocked that if some point those numbers in early April come down on a day or two. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. If the weather allows, the next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.